Welcome to the PSHE Essentials 10-minute video guide to PSHE Ground Rules. Exploration and learning is best done within a safe learning environment where everyone can positively contribute to a discussion without fear of ridicule or attack, where there are no accusations, eye-rolling, feelings of isolation, or pressure to speak about personal or possibly deeply emotional thoughts and feelings, and where boundaries of information sharing or confidentiality is appropriate, consistent, and understood by everyone. Environments where people feel secure, included, recognised, and positively listened to, where expectations of appropriately healthy behaviours are clear and agreed, are places that foster a sense of belonging, care, compassion, and ultimately, increasingly effective learning. They also help to model and build emotional intelligence. Within PSHE, pupils should be supported to share their thoughts, opinions, and reflect upon issues and questions along with their own and others' values and attitudes. In order for this to be developed, there has to be a mutual understanding of shared values. Emotional needs, which is the basis of restorative practice, should also be addressed and understood so as to enable everyone to engage thoughtfully and with confidence, knowing that others are actively listening. Such an environment does not only apply to PSHE, personal, social, health, and economic education. It also applies to learning and development in general. Ensuring that there are PSHE ground rules, possibly referred to as a learning agreement or a PSHE charter, and those are both terms that actually lend themselves much more to co-production and joint ownership. But make sure that they're in place helps to ensure that pupils can take part in discussions and activities, whilst the whole group, including the teacher and other adults, take responsibility for the culture in which they work or which they intend to work. PSHE agreements are possibly the most fundamental aspect of effective and supportive PSHE. And if you are a Surrey school, they are an essential standard within the PSHE theme of the Surrey Healthy Schools approach. Ground rules or learning agreements or PSHE charters should be explored, developed and agreed between the class, and that includes the teachers or the adults in the room at the beginning of each school year. They should be displayed in a format that is accessible to all, recapped at the beginning of a lesson and applied during the lessons. And if required, they should be amended over time. Highlighting where people are modelling and reinforcing the rules or agreement is much more effective than emphasising when members of the group are not adhering to the agreement. Some PSHE schemes that maybe schools purchase to work through, they often set out PSHE ground rules and learning agreements. And whilst these can provide school staff with helpful ideas, the most important part of developing the ground rules or the learning agreement and behaviours sought by the class is the way in which they are decided upon and agreed together, usually through a PSHE lesson or a series of activities within the first few weeks of a new school year. I'd like to show you an example of a values-based PSHE agreement. Here, the school has applied their school values in order to make the link between core values and the actions and behaviours agreed within each class. And this again would include the pupils and the staff. Within the value of honesty, you can see that everybody has the right to pass. And within this, the class have agreed to have a go where they can. I'm sure that you can appreciate that sometimes when we are put on the spot, or when a question is personal or emotive in nature, we may not feel secure to answer. We may need more time. And in this case, a teacher can then return to a pupil who might have used their right to pass after other pupils have answered the question. The pupil may at this time have an answer. It may be the same as somebody else's answer, and that's okay. Hopefully, next time they will have more confidence to provide an answer the first time. Or the pupil may still pass. The consideration for the teacher here is what is preventing the pupil from answering a question and contributing to the lesson. What can the teacher do to support the pupil, or possibly prepare the pupil prior to the lesson, if this is appropriate? Another action that can be seen in this instance within the value of respect is recognise that some things are said for purposeful discussions within the lesson, and not to name people in a negative way. In this instance, these actions were agreed by the class, including the teacher, as a result of detailed discussions and activities exploring confidentiality and when and by whom information may be shared more widely and for what purposes. And this helps both staff and pupils better understand what may or may not be appropriate to be shared within a lesson, and what to do with any information that makes maybe you as a teacher or somebody leading the lesson, so you know clearly what to do if you ever think that a pupil is maybe in a risky or unsafe situation. And that should really be as per your school's safeguarding procedures and policy. The next example of a PSHE learning agreement is based upon a restorative approach and key emotional needs. Again, these emotional needs and actions were agreed by the class after a series of exploratory group activities at the beginning of a school year. The needs prioritised by the class were clarity, support, safety, and optimism. Active participation and listening is a focal point within clarity. Being empathetic to others is a focus within support. And in this instance, the right to pass and confidentiality are both captured within the safety need. And having a go is a theme apparent within the need of optimism. An acronym on which to base ground rules that has proven useful in many schools is ROC, and this stands for respect, openness, confidentiality, and kind, and the right to pass may be incorporated within the word kind. It is important that each class defines their own PSHE agreement. So across your school, although there will be similarities between agreements, it is likely that there will be some differences in the actions and within some of the wording. However, even with some of those differences between classes, learning agreements should strengthen your school values, your school culture, and your school ethos. And this will also help to ensure that expectations are agreed and consistent across the school. As a member of staff in your school, you may have visitors from time to time to support some of the teaching and learning. You may call them external contributors. Or you may yourself be an external contributor watching this video now. You may be a school nurse or a specialist teacher or a member of the police or the fire service or another service or a charity. And it's important that everyone understands the desired and agreed climate for learning. To achieve consistency, an external contributor should be made aware of the PSHE learning agreement prior to their visit, and the teacher should assist as appropriate. Remembering that the school staff are always in charge of behaviour management, i.e. the relationships within the room. For any external contributors working within a school without a learning agreement already in place, as you probably won't have sufficient time with a class to develop one yourself, it may be that you decide to use the acronym ROC, and you may turn up to the school with a large pre-prepared clear poster with the acronym ROC on it and explaining what that means and how it will help the pupils' learning. Of course, when schools are working with external contributors, this should have been discussed in effective communication prior to the visit, but for any reason, if this has not been possible, clear expectations of values and appropriate behaviours are essential, along with the knowledge of a school's safeguarding policies and protocols. And if you would like further information about ground rules and learning agreements, then please, if you're a Surrey school, do visit the Surrey Healthy Schools web pages. And for Surrey schools and all other schools, please also visit the PSHE Association website. Thank you.